3 minutes. That's all it took for this HOA Karen to reveal herself completely, and believe me, it was the most ridiculous 3 minutes of my life. You ever seen someone so entitled they call 911 because you're grilling ribs on a Sunday? Yeah, welcome to Lakeside Estates, where one barbecue turned into the spark that burned down a 5-year reign of HOA tyranny. 50 families, myself included, finally free all because Victoria Vance, clipboard queen and self-appointed sheriff of suburbia, couldn't handle a little smoke coming off my grill. Let me tell you, this story is so off the wall, you'd probably think I made it up if I didn't have the video to prove every last detail. Drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from. Ever meet a Karen like this? I gotta know. It was a perfect Sunday morning, about 11:30, sun sparkling off Echo Lake, and me, Ethan, 32 burnout from the tech world, finally bought myself a little slice of peace. The cabin wasn't fancy, but it was mine, after years of deadlines, back-to-back meetings, and the kind of corporate team building that makes you want to run for the woods. I moved in the week before and decided this Sunday would be my little celebration. Ribs marinated in my grandma's secret sauce, a Weber kettle smoking just right, classic rock on low. The life you know, the kind of moment you work years to have. Old man Henderson, my neighbor for 40 years, is out in his garden, waves over "smells good, son," and I'm thinking, this is my tribe. These are my people. For maybe 2 minutes, I felt like I belonged. And then the stomping. You know that sound, expensive sneakers purpose in every step. I check my phone, 11:45 on the dot. Here comes Victoria Vance coming around the corner like she's about to serve a search warrant, power walking gear that probably costs more than my car payment, clipboard gripped like it's a sword. She storms across my lawn, all attitude and artificial blonde, and hits me with, excuse me, excuse me." I turn, tongs in hand, genuinely lost. Can I help you?" She gives me a look like I just handed her a math problem. Help me. You can help the entire community by putting out that fire immediately. I blink. What fire, ma'am? It's just a BBQ. That smoke is a violation of our air quality standards. You're creating a health hazard for the entire neighborhood. Now I'm a rule follower. I pay my bills. I mow my lawn. I've survived corporate America. I can handle a little drama. But being scolded for air quality by someone who looks like she's never even boiled water, let alone grilled a rack of ribs, that's a first. "Ma'am, it's a normal charcoal grill. There's no rule. I am the rule," she snaps. Victoria Vance, president of Lakeside Estates Homeowners Association. That clipboard looks heavy with the weight of all her imaginary authority. "You're violating our guidelines on air pollutants." I take a deep breath, let that dangerous hickory smoke fill my lungs for dramatic effect, and try to reason with her. "Miss Vance, it's just a weekend cookout. The smoke is barely minimal. I can smell it from 3 houses away. Do you realize how many residents could develop breathing problems from your meat fumes?" Meat fumes. She actually said that. And right then I realize it's not about the smoke, not about the rules, not about anyone's health. It's about power. She'd found her target for the week, and it was me. That's when things got real weird. Victoria whips out her phone like she's in some old Western. "If you won't be reasonable, I'll call someone who can make you be reasonable." She dials 911. "Yes, I need to report a serious air quality violation. Someone is creating dangerous smoke conditions at 847 Lakeshore Drive. She's talking about my Sunday ribs like I'm running a chemical plant." The operator must have asked a follow-up because Victoria's voice goes full Broadway. "The smoke is everywhere. It's toxic." Then she hangs up, gives me the smuggest look I've ever seen. There. Now you'll learn about following community rules. 3 minutes later, sirens. That's right. 3 minutes from smoke to spectacle. Officer Martinez steps out of his patrol car, looks around like he's expecting to see the Great Fire of Chicago. What he actually finds is me grilling ribs, classic rock, barely audible, and Victoria looking like she's about to get her own Judge Judy episode. Martinez asks, "Sir, how long have you been grilling?" 20 minutes, officer, just making lunch. He turns to Victoria. "Ma'am, this appears to be a barbecue. Smoke production is minimal, nothing illegal here." She tries to protest, but he shuts it down. Barbecue smoke isn't a pollutant. Martinez gives me a sympathetic look and heads out. Victoria's face cycles through a rainbow of rage. "This isn't over," she hisses. And man, she wasn't kidding. Monday morning, my mailbox is her new weapon. Envelope 1. $300 noise violation for classic rock, allegedly exceeding 55 dB. My phone said 42 dB from the sidewalk. Envelope 2, $200 landscaping violation. My grass was 0.2 inches too tall. Envelope 3, $400 for unauthorized exterior coloring, the same wood stain the place has always had. There's more $150 for parking at a non-regulation angle, $200 for incorrect font on my house numbers, $175 for having a hose visible. That's $1, $425 in fines for grilling lunch. Tuesday, the nuclear option certified letter utilities will be shut off in 48 hours if I don't pay. I'm not going to lie, I felt trapped. The cabin was supposed to be my sanctuary, and suddenly it was a prison run by a petty tyrant. By Tuesday night, I was ready to give up. I posted the cabin for sale, motivated seller. The words felt like defeat. Wednesday morning, Henderson knocks on my door with 2 coffees. "Son, I saw your for sale sign. Don't make a decision you'll regret." Victoria's been terrorizing this community for 5 years. You're not the first, but you could be the last. Turns out Victoria had tried to buy my cabin for years, even offered double. When the previous owners refused, she hounded them out, noise complaints, fines, threats. That's why the Morrisons left. Henderson leans in, voice low. "She's not just obsessed, son. She's been stealing from the HOA for years. Where's all that $65,000 in fees go every year?" That's when it clicked. The fines, the bullying, it was personal and it was greed. I pulled the for sale listing and started digging. Turns out my tech skills came in handy. State law says any homeowner can see HOA financials, so I requested the last 3 years' records. Victoria stalled under review, filed elsewhere, needs board approval. When I threatened to bring in the state, she caved. Lakeside Estates. HOA had paid $65,000 to Lakeside Solutions, a company owned by Victoria herself. Dock repairs, never done. Lighting upgrades. Half the lights didn't work. Landscaping. Looked like no one had touched it since the 90s. The cherry on top email showing Victoria tried to use HOA powers to force the last owners out. Eminent domain threats, even bribes. She'd done it all. I called for an emergency HOA meeting, citing financial irregularities. Victoria tried everything to stop it, said I wasn't a real resident, claimed it was all lies, but the law was on my side. Word spread, and when Thursday night rolled around, the community center was packed. Victoria comes in like the queen she thinks she is, fires up the crowd about dangerous radicals and property values. But this time I'm ready. I pull out my phone, hook it to the projector, and start showing receipts, literal receipts. Emails, property records, invoices, everything. She'd harassed the Morrisons, stole from the treasury, tried to get the HOA to buy my cabin so she could snag it cheap. The room goes silent. People are shocked, angry, betrayed. Henderson stands up. "Folks, we don't need this. We used to be a real community." That's when it flips. Neighbors start sharing their own stories. The vote to dissolve the HOA isn't even close, 47-3. Just like that, the reign of terror is over. The next morning, Victoria retaliates, anonymous threats, fake online reviews about my business, late-night drive-bys. But the final straw is pure cinematic karma. My security camera catches her at 2:47 a.m., golf club in hand, destroying my patio furniture, spray painting. Get out on my wall, ranting to herself. She even slips on the wet deck and leaves her monogram scarf behind. I call Officer Martinez. Victoria is arrested for vandalism, trespassing, and criminal mischief, marched out in front of everyone she used to boss around. Her mugshot ends up all over social media when Karen goes too far. Property values rise, not fall. People plant a community garden where her house used to be. Sunday afternoons, I fire up my grill, no more violation letters, no more fear, just the sound of neighbors laughing and the smell of freedom. And you know what? 3 months later, the old owners, the Morrisons, reach out. They heard the news, wanted to say thank you. Turns out Victoria had driven out 3 families before me, but it only took one person standing up to change everything. So, let me leave you with this. Never underestimate the power of a stubborn neighbor, the right evidence, and a really good barbecue. If you think Victoria got what she deserved, or if you'd have done things differently, I want to hear your take. Drop a comment below. Where do you stand on HOA's justice and community? And hey, if you've ever been pushed around by a petty tyrant, maybe now's the time to stand up and fire up your own grill. Freedom tastes a whole lot better when you get to share it.